The Starlight Headliner in a Rolls-Royce is one of those rare features that feels almost magical. At first glance, it looks simple. Thousands of tiny lights glowing softly across the roof liner, arranged to mimic a calm night sky. But behind that glow is a story of craftsmanship, psychology, and profit that reveals how luxury brands turn ordinary ideas into extraordinary value. What makes the Starlight Headliner fascinating is not just how it is built, but how something so small becomes a symbol of wealth powerful enough to justify an eye-watering price tag. In many ways, this quiet constellation carved into leather and fiber optics captures the entire strategy of how Rolls-Royce sells not just cars, but dreams. When you see the Starlight Headliner in person, the first thing you notice is how peaceful it feels. Rolls-Royce will tell you that the goal is to recreate the emotion of watching stars on a clear night. Calming, gentle, grounding. But behind that soft experience is hours of precise work. Each light is a small fiber optic cable, hand-threaded through leather by skilled craftsmen who shape the stars one by one. A typical headliner uses anywhere from 600 to over 1,600 lights, depending on the customer. Some even request custom constellations, shooting stars, or patterns that match the night they were born. These details take time, and in luxury manufacturing, time is money. Yet the true cost of the feature, the materials, the labor, the electronics, is far lower than most people imagine. The real value is in what the feature represents. The price for the Starlight Headliner can range anywhere from around $20,000 to well over $40,000 for custom designs. The fiber optic cables themselves are inexpensive. The LEDs powering them cost very little. Even the leather, though premium, does not justify such a price by itself. What you are really paying for is the rare skill of the artisans who assemble it by hand. But even then, the profit margin remains enormous. Luxury companies understand something simple. People buying ultra-expensive cars are not paying for raw materials or labor. They are paying for feelings, exclusivity, identity, status, and a sense of owning something no one else has. The Starlight Headliner is designed to deliver all of that in the most delicate way possible. Rolls-Royce knows that a feature does not need to be technologically complex to hold emotional power. It just needs to tell the right story. The story behind the Starlight Headliner is one of patience, handcraft, and personal attention. Each light is placed by a human being, not a machine. That alone makes customers feel that they are receiving something created just for them. In a world where almost everything is mass-produced, humans crave meaning. They crave the idea that someone spent hours making something that will belong only to them. Rolls-Royce turns this craving into profit, packaging emotion into a headliner and charging tens of thousands for it. The genius is not in the lights. The genius is in making people feel something from them. The process is slow on purpose. If it were automated, it would be cheaper, faster, and more efficient. But it would also lose the human story that justifies the price. Rolls-Royce has mastered the art of intentional slowness, making things by hand not because machines are incapable, but because the brand depends on human touch. Customers do not just buy a car, they buy a narrative of craftsmanship, tradition, and prestige. The Starlight Headliner is the perfect example of how a luxury brand turns time into value. The more hours something takes, the more customers assume it must be worth its price. Rolls-Royce leans into that belief with precision. The profit margin becomes even clearer when you look at how the feature is marketed. Rolls-Royce rarely talks about cost or technology. Instead, they talk about atmosphere, serenity, and storytelling. They focus on how the headliner makes you feel when you sit in the car. That emotional language is far more powerful than any technical explanation. It makes the buyer forget the simplicity of the lights and instead imagine themselves in a calm, star-filled universe of their own. When a product becomes a feeling, its price can stretch far beyond its physical value. What makes this even more clever is that the Starlight Headliner has become a symbol of the brand. You can find 1,000 pictures of Rolls-Royce interiors online, and almost all of them highlight that glowing sky. It has become a signature feature, something instantly recognizable. For the company, this is priceless. When a single feature becomes iconic, it becomes a reason people buy the whole car. The cost of the lights doesn't matter anymore. They become part of the identity of the vehicle itself, allowing Rolls-Royce to maintain a high image of value with minimal additional expense. The starry roof is both a product and a marketing tool. Behind the quiet beauty of the Starlight Headliner lies a strategy that understands human psychology deeply. People do not buy luxury because they need it. They buy it because it gives them a sense of elevation. The lights in the ceiling are a reminder to the owner that they are not just sitting in a car, They are surrounded by something crafted, something rare, something meant only for those who can afford it. Rolls-Royce taps into that desire not by showing off wealth loudly, but by whispering it through soft lights overhead. The feature is luxurious not because it is expensive to make, but because it feels expensive to experience. So when we deconstruct the Starlight Headliner, we see far more than fiber-optic cables. We see a company that knows how to turn simple ideas into symbols. We see how emotion becomes profit. We see how craftsmanship becomes a story customers are willing to pay for. Rolls-Royce has mastered the art of taking something small and making it meaningful. And in doing so, they reveal the true price of luxury, not the cost of materials, but the cost of the feelings people hope to find when they buy it.